Hey guys, Telegram Sam here. I just want to start out this video by saying thank you to such the warm reception and nice comments you guys had for last week's video, the video with my mom. She was very hesitant to do it, and I had to do a lot of sweet talking and batting my eyelashes to get her to agree to do that video. But luckily she agreed to do it, and even when we were waiting for the video to upload onto YouTube the entire time, she was like, oh my god, everyone's gonna think I'm such a dork, everyone's gonna hate this video, no one's gonna watch your channel ever again. And that was the complete opposite reaction all of you had. Everyone had such nice things to say in the comments section. I was reading them to my mom, and she was just totally blown away by the love the VC had to offer her, and I really appreciate that. And we'll definitely be doing another video the next time she's down here, which will probably be about the Seattle late 80s, early 90s alternative music scene. She has so many great stories from that, so yeah. But yeah, this week's video is a recent vinyl pickups. I have a good stack of records to show you guys. So in the last recent vinyl pickups video I did, I believe I showed Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack. And I went kind of wild and bought 4 more Quentin Tarantino soundtracks. So first off, we got Jackie Brown. I feel like Jackie Brown is one of the most underrated of all the Quentin Tarantino films. This came out right after Pulp Fiction, but right before Kill Bill, so it's kind of like the in-betweeners for those movies. But this is such a great like funk soul soundtrack. It has, Bill Withers, Bobby Womack, the Brothers Johnson, the song Strawberry Letter 23. I love that song. Has such a killer bass riff that goes through it. Even Pam Grier, one of the original songs that she did from the blaxploitation movies back in the 70s that she was in, she has one of her songs, Long Time Woman, on here, which is great. Minnie Riperton. This is just such a essential 70s, 60s soul funk album. So good. And just came on this black vinyl with this red Band Apart label. And then speaking of Kill Bill, I got Kill Bill 1 here. Killer. 2003 soundtrack. This is definitely a repress, but I'm not sure what year it is. Oh yeah, and the Jackie Brown originally came out in 1997. The press I held up was a 2020 European reissue. But yeah, this soundtrack has Nancy Sinatra, Bang Bang, Isaac Hayes, Charlie Feathers, a lot of Spanish music on it, instrumental music as well. And like all the fight scene music on here is amazing. You have Al Hurt's Green Hornet theme. It's just really great. 5, 6, 7, 8. Just killer Kill Bill. And then of course to follow that up, we got Kill Bill Volume 2. I would say I don't like this one as much as Kill Bill Volume 1. It has a lot of the same stuff on it. But this one has a lot of Ennio Morricone. He did a lot of the soundtracks for like the spaghetti westerns in the 60s. Love his arrangements. This has Johnny Cash, A Satisfied Mind. And then a lot of other just like Spanish influenced instrumental music. This originally came out in 2004, and this is a 2015 European issue. And this one has a really cool red custom label. Oh, and I forgot to show the vinyl for the last one. The last one has really cool labels. Where is it? Oh no, the one I just showed was the Kill Bill Volume 1, and this is the Kill Bill Volume 2, because it has these cool, the Bride and Bill silhouette labels. I love those. And I love how Quentin Tarantino, all of his soundtracks have like little snippets of dialogue in between songs. So like a lot of the memorable speeches from both of those movies are on here. And then my all-time favorite movie This movie changed the way I watched movies. Reservoir Dogs. I love this movie. I watch this movie at least 10 times a year since I was like 14. I just fell in love with this movie, and it completely changed the way I looked at movies, watched movies, and just got me to fall in love with movies and the way they're made in Quentin Tarantino's movies. But it also has a killer soundtrack. This is definitely like a 70s inspired soundtrack. You have, Little Green Bag, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheels, where he cuts off that guy's ear. Hooked on a Feeling. Don't really like that song. It's a little annoying. Coconut by Harry Nilsson. It also includes snippets from the K-Billy Super Sounds of the 70s radio station that's kind of runs through the entire movie, and I just love that dude. I forget the name of the comedian that voices him, but he's so funny. I saw him in the movie the other day. I was like, oh my god, that's the guy that voices K-Billy in Reservoir Dogs. And it just came on this black vinyl with, the custom Reservoir Dogs label. Then next up, we got a cool box set. Don't have many box sets, but I saw this super cheap online and I had to get it. This is Iggy Pop's Kiss My Blood. This is a live box set. This is from his Brick to Brick 91 tour. It was recorded in Paris, France. And it came on these really cool splattered vinyls. There's 3 vinyls and each one has its own colored splatter. So this one is a red, black, and white. The second one is a clear red, white, black. This one's my favorite. It's so pretty. And then the last one is a gray, black, red, white splatter. This has a really great mix of not only his solo stuff, but his studio stuff. So you got Raw, Power, Dirt, Loose, Lust for Life, China Girl, Real Wild Child, Brick by Brick, 1969, Candy, I Want to Be Your Dog. Like, every song in here is just one of his greats, and I love this. This sounds amazing. I believe the sound for this was taken directly from the sound console from the concert, so it sounds super clear, sounds really good. And I believe there's only 2,500 of these made. This was a record store day exclusive from last year. I was online for like $60 and I just had to pick it up. This next one, I believe came out earlier this year, but this is No One Sings Like You Anymore. This is a collection of cover songs by Cornell. He does various covers of Jump Into the Fire. That's my favorite Harry Nilsson song. He has a really cool rendition of that. Patience by Guns N' Roses. Nothing Compares to You by Prince. Watching the Wheels. I think that's a John Lennon song. But this sounds really good. I really haven't listened to any of Chris Cornell's stuff since he died. That was just a really hard death for me to take. I actually wanted to go see him. He was doing a solo tour about a year before he died. But I was so broke after moving to Portland, I just didn't have the money to see him. And I really regret not taking that chance. And this vinyl comes on one of the most brightest neon vinyls I've ever seen. It hurts to look at, but it's this super, super bright neon orange. The camera does not pick up how bright it is. It hurts your eyes to look at it. But I believe this color variant was a Target exclusive. It's a super great album. Then this next one was a thrift store pickup. When my mom was here, we were kind of driving around, and we drove by a Goodwill, and so we stopped, and of course I had to look at the vinyl. And I saw this, and I really don't know anything about this man. I just really liked this weird, hodgepodge, weird cartoony cover. But this is Dan Hicks, It Happened One Night. Yeah, this originally came out in 1978, and I believe this is an original version. But it's a really weird mix of like country world, folk, almost like vaudevillian music. There's like kazoo solos. It's really weird and interesting. There's a little like write up in the back about, I guess, how the songs on this album were supposed to be on this animated movie, but then the movie didn't end up happening, but he had all these songs, so he just released this. Yeah, really interesting, sort of blind buy from the thrift store. It's good. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's just definitely not what I was expecting. It came on the classic Warner Brothers 70s label, black vinyl. And then this actually just came out earlier this month. This is St. Vincent's Daddy's Home. I love this album. This is probably one of the best albums. At least, like, I don't really listen to a lot of new stuff, but this is like some of the best I've heard within the last 2 or 3 years, especially with rock. And it has this killer gatefold. But yeah, this came out earlier this year. This particular version is an Urban Outfitters exclusive. It came on this gray, smoky vinyl. But yeah, I'd say this record is a really interesting mix of like 70s rock, funk, psychedelic. I was watching a video she did for Vinyl Me Please about the records that influenced the making of this album, and she showed Stevie Wonder, Steely Dan, Yes, and a lot of various like 70s great albums. You can definitely hear the influence they had on here, especially Steely Dan and War. This definitely has a funky undertone to it. But I don't know if this is just this version of this album because of the colored vinyl or what. Let me know if you've had this same experience, if you have this on vinyl. But to me, this sounds like really muddy and like almost like it was made underwater. I don't know if that's something they did on purpose to kind of get that like old 70s like a record sound that's been spun 1,000 times and it's just been degenerated, or if it's just this version of this album. Like, I thought when I was listening to it, I was like, is my stereo or record player like finally like biting the dust? But after I played this, I put on some vinyls that I know sounded good, and they sounded totally fine. So I don't know if it's just this particular Urban Hours version, or if like all the vinyl versions sound like that, or if it in general just sounds like that. Let me know. But I really do love this album, and I hope that this is just a Urban Outfitters exclusive problem and not all of the vinyls are like that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings on that. These next three I actually got this morning. I haven't had a chance to listen to any of these yet, so don't know how they play, but it's a lot of good classic stuff. This is Elvis Costello's My Name is True. This is just a classic Elvis Costello album, probably his best known album, his first album. I don't have any Elvis Costello, but I do love the song Allison, which is on this album, and the song The Angels Won't Wear My Red Shoes. Love that song too. But yeah, this is a 1977 US, I'm not sure if it's the first press, but it's an original press. But I was reading some more info about this album, and this only cost like £2,000 to make, and they did it in 6 4-hour recording sessions, which to me is like insane. And when the two singles dropped, Allison and Less Than Zero, he was actually still working as his main job as like a data entry clerk. And then like shortly after the singles were released and they started to gain traction and success, he finally left his job and has been a guitar player and singer ever since. But yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. The vinyl looks really clean. It just looks like it has a few, surface level nicks and scratches and just needs a good cleaning, but nothing that should affect the play. It's just on the Columbia Red label. And this next album, oh my god, I almost screamed when I saw this at the record store, because this is something I've been wanting for such a long time but never thought I was going to get. This is Richard Hell and the Voidoids, Blank Generation. Oh my god, I can't even believe I'm holding this. And this is an original 1977. I don't know if this is a first press, but it's definitely an original press. And I got this for a steal just because it has some pretty bad like water damage on the front and back cover. But I didn't care. It's still like you can tell what it is. And plus the record itself is in really good condition. Not really any scratches or nicks on it at all. Yeah, look how clean that is, considering how old this is. But yeah, I have been wanting this album for so long. I had a really big crush on Richard Hell when I was getting into the whole CBGB scene when I was a teenager. I just thought he was so cool, and you know, just this killer album cover. But yeah, I was reading some interesting things about Richard Hell. So him and his best friend, who was named Tom Miller, who ended up changing his name to Tom Verlaine, actually founded Television together, but before it was called Television, it was called Neon Boys, and then they changed the name to Television, and Richard Hell was part of it for a little bit, and then him and Tom had a falling out, and then he went over to join the Heartbreakers with Johnny Thunder, and he was only in it for like less than a year before he decided to start doing his own thing and formed the Voidoids, and ended up creating one of the best albums to come out of the whole CBGB's early punk scene. He was actually one of the first rock bands to play at CBGB. So yeah, this is just so cool. I'm so happy to finally have this now, and probably when I'm done filming this video, I'm going to be playing this. Yeah, I just can't believe I have that. Next we got a soul funk classic. This is Isaac Hayes' Hot Buttered Soul. This album is such an important album in soul music. It's kind of like one of the first albums to kind of really mix soul and funk together. This came out in 1969. This is the original 1969 version of this album. This is Isaac Hayes' second album. And the interesting story behind this is that his first album was so disappointing and like got such bad reviews, no one bought it, that he kind of was like gonna stop singing, kind of just be a songwriter and producer. But when Stax left Atlantic, they lost all of their back catalog and forced all of their signed artists to put out new music, and Isaac Hayes would only agree to do it if he had full artistic control, which led to the making of this album. And yeah, this album is just so important and influential, and it's even one of Henry Rollins' all-time favorite albums. For those of you who don't know, Henry Rollins was a singer for Black Flag and like really pivotal to the whole punk rock movement in the 80s in DC. He actually interviewed Isaac Hayes for one of his books in the 2000s. It's just insane that anyone could love this album, including Henry Rollins. Haven't listened to this yet, but I know I've heard a couple of songs, probably on Spotify. And yeah, it just came on this really cool Enterprise label. This record's a little bit dirty, so I definitely have to clean it once I'm before I play it. But yeah, so excited about that. Don't have any Isaac Hayes yet. But yeah, that was this week's video. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my recent vinyl pickups. I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye.